And welcome back to Idaho Today. We're shifting gears now, talking about grief, which can be hard for kids. And navigating it as a parent can be even harder. So we're joined by Chantal Rochelle, who is turning a deeply personal story into a beautifully written children's book, Where Did Grandma Go?, which helps families and children cope with loss. Chantal, thank you so much for joining us all the way from LA this morning, and really appreciate you taking the time to share this message with our viewers today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
All right, so I want to talk about your book. This book actually stems from your own family's journey with loss. Can you share the moment that inspired you to write Where Did Grandma Go?
Absolutely. So, Where Did Grandma Go? Was inspired by my own personal journey of grief and loss. My mother, she passed away 6 years ago, and she was the anchor of our family. And so for us, it was hard to explain to the younger people in our family, specifically my niece, who was 3 years old at the time, and her and my mother were like thick as thieves. They were best friends. And so she kept asking where she went, where'd she go? And so, we didn't know how to exactly explain it to her. And so it just took us a lot of time to really really captivate the words that we wanted to use to her. So we were just very transparent with her. And so we wanted to make sure that we provided a safe space to have the conversations. And still now to this day, she still asks about her. And so we just keep her alive in that way.
Oh, that is beautiful. All right, so children process grief differently than adults, right? So what did you learn about that while you're actually writing this book for your niece and for other families?
Oh, great question. Between talking to psychologists and experts and mental health experts, children know a lot more than we give them credit for. They sense things, their energy, they know when something's right, when something's wrong, and if anything's indifferent. And so, for example, my niece would ask questions like, "Why are you guys crying? I know Grandma's not here anymore, but we're okay." Like I'm like, you're okay? What do you mean?" It's like she would just really be expressive with her emotions. And so for children, they sense things. And so just being honest with them, being very transparent with them, because they pick up on a lot of things more than we give them credit for.
Yeah, so they're going to know when you're not being honest, and that in itself, I can imagine, would possibly cause additional harm to the situation, right? Because then all of a sudden there becomes this distrust between the child who's trying to process grief, but then also looking for comfort from a parent or from, somebody else that they look up to, an authority figure in their life. So being able to have that transparency and that honesty is, I imagine, incredibly important.
Absolutely. And it also honors the person who passed. Like
Yeah.
when I think about all of the things that my mom instilled in me and my sisters, I'm the youngest of four girls, between cooking and, how to carry yourself as a woman, like we instill those in my niece, and we're letting her know that this is from your grandmother. Like she's the one who taught us this. And so that's how we keep her alive. And so we want to honor my mother by being honest about, okay, she's not physically here anymore, but she's in the food that we are making. She's in the aisle when we go down and we see cookies that my mom liked. We're like, oh, let's get extras. And so it's really just honoring the person who passed by keeping the legacy alive.
Yeah, so it sounds like not only are you just allowing the process of the grieving of the loss, right, but then you're pivoting and you're celebrating the life that was, right, and the life and the connection and the love that person brought to the world. How do you hope that parents, educators, and caregivers are going to use this book?
I want this to be a tool, a resource for, whether it's a librarian, a teacher, a mental health professional. I want them, when they're reading this book, for it to be a resource of comfort, to be a resource of this perseverance, that sadness and grief and joy can coexist together, that you don't have to be defined by these tragedies and these sad situations that happen to you. I want this to be a book of perseverance and joy, and that your person hasn't really left you, that they're in everything that you do. When you look in the mirror, when you sing, when you dance, they are a part of every aspect of your life. And that's what I want people to take away from this book.
Ah, that is so beautiful. So well said. And not just a message for children, but for anyone, truly. Where can people go to find your book and to learn more?
Yes, you can purchase Where Did Grandma Go at barnesandnobles.com, amazon.com, at atascabooks.com. And yes, I'm so excited for you all to enjoy this book.
Wonderful. Chantal, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate this gift you've given us. And I certainly hope that people incorporate it into their lives as well.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so great to have you. Take care. And everyone, stick around. More to come here on Idaho Today right after the break.